What habits do you need to create your success story? Stay tuned and find out.
Welcome.
Okay, here's the question.
Serious?
How are we dark horses? You know, the ones everyone is betting against, the ones they don't expect to win, place, or even show on the track, and they'll even laugh on us when we talk about trying. How do we show the world our greatness and triumph?
Come on.
Well, that's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers.
Let's go.
This is The Dark Horse Entrepreneur. My name is Tracy Brinkman.
And push it up.
What is up? What is up? What is up, my Dark Horse friends and family? Welcome back to your ongoing dose of success habits learning. I'm your Dark Horse host, Tracy Brinkman. And you? Well, that, my friend, is infinitely more important. You are a driven entrepreneur, or perhaps you're one in the making. Either way, you're here because you're ready to start, restart, kickstart, or just start leveling up with some great marketing, personal, or business tips and results in order to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. And that's why I'm here hitting you with yet another solo success episode coming to you straight from the Dark Horse HQ as we dive deep into success with actionable advice, tips, and steps designed to help you level up your game, your business game, your social game, your personal game, your spiritual game. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we all know there are no shortcuts to success except for taking those little steps towards your goal every single day. Now, speaking of little steps, I know you want to keep getting all these great tips I'm able to share, as well as the amazing interviews from the folks I'm lucky enough to bring on the show. And to be able to keep doing that, go ahead and go on down there, hit that subscribe button. And while you're there, leave us a 5-star rating and drop us some kind words in the reviews. Ask questions. Tell us folks you'd like to hear us get on the show. Some folks who think we should interview. Maybe that's you. Say, hey, you should interview me, Tracy. I read every single one of those reviews, so go ahead and do that. It is the subscribed ratings and reviews that tell those podcast platforms that you are getting that value, so they'll raise us up a little bit in the rankings so that we can reach more driven entrepreneurs just like you. So please take a moment, show the love, and help spread the word. Success. Man, what does that mean? I think that question, if you asked it in a room of 10 people, you'll probably get at least 7 very distinctly different answers, possibly 10. But you know, I think one of the things to remember is that success stories don't always come from naturally successful people. They come from ordinary people that get out there. They have the big dreams in their heart, in their minds. They got the stars in their eyes. And they're truly dialed into the goal that they want to achieve. And they're out there every single day, sun up, sun down, busting hump, grinding away, taking care of business, making shit happen. And maybe that's you. Right? Maybe you're at the beginning of your journey. Maybe you're deep into your journey and you're still grinding away. I know it's how I am. So I'm going to imagine a number of you are the same. And I think one of the things that really sets the successful, the eventually successful, and I say successful because I think if you're reaching for the stars, if you're reaching for your dream, you're already successful, right? And so when I say successful, keep that in mind. But I think one of the things that sets the successful apart is how they use that tool between their ears. Yeah? All right. How they use it to focus on their goals, how they use it to, keep themselves motivated, how they look at the world sometimes is just as simple as that. I think there are a number of folks out there that equate success to material items. Oh, I got the big house. I got the fancy car. I got big numbers in my bank account. And you know what? Don't get me wrong. Those are the trappings of success. But that's really only a fragment of it, isn't it? Because if you think about it, how many of those types of successful people, those ones where it's all about the house and the car and the trophy spouse and the perfect children and the manicured yard, and all those things, the trips overseas. Anyway, you get what I'm talking about. they're so focused on that and they achieve it. So they look the part, right? When you pull up into their driveway, you're like, damn, this guy's got it going on. But you realize as you get to know them a little better, inside, they're dealing with imposter syndrome. They're feeling like a fraud. So really, I'm not asking you to answer the question, what is success to you? Wholly. I mean, that's a part of it. I really want you to answer the question, what does success feel like for you? I mean, what does it feel like down in your gut, deep inside you? It is usually, populated with feelings of being productive, I don't know, leaving a legacy. I think those folks that focus on those external trappings end up having those negative feelings inside, like, well, gosh, I'm really not giving back. I mean, those that really care. I mean, there are those that are just all about the facade, and that's okay. But I don't imagine those are the type of people that are still here listening, 6+ minutes into the podcast. But those of you that are out there still listening and want to create that success in your life, you're going to be or already have developed this inner dialogue of success, this inner dialogue of achievement. And if you ever get that moment where you're feeling continually unproductive, you usually take the time to have a look at yourself and say, maybe I need to move some things around. Maybe I need to change my mindset. Because, at the end of the day, success really starts with that growth mindset. If you don't have a growth mindset, you're going to reach a certain point and you're going to stop because you're not going to grow, right? It's just a fact. And I think one of the cool things is when you have this growth mindset, it usually pivots off of the value that you have for yourself, right? When you're fixed on the materialism, usually you're putting the value on those items. And that is going to limit you from unleashing the power inside you in this high performance capacity and engage all your strengths and talents. But when you're focused on yourself, on your value, on those strengths, on those talents, man, the growth and expansion you have available to you just expands by leaps and bounds. So let's take some time and chat about some of the, I'll call them the 6 habits that we all need when it comes to this, call it a mindset shift. And maybe you have all of them and you just need a quick reminder. Maybe you have some of them and you're like, wow, I never thought about that one. But take a listen. I think the very first one you're going to want to have to focus on is having a really clear understanding of what success means to you and your life. And obviously you hear me all the time talking about, what are your goals? Well, yeah, you want to clarify your goals because that really is vital to yourself. But I think what I'm talking about here is once you've achieved a certain success goal, he says with air quotes, how would you know you achieved it, right? It's not like you say, hey, I want to be rich. Well, that's kind of, vague, right? If you have a very specific goal of, I have, $250,000 in my bank account and $50,000 in savings, right? That would make you feel rich. Then set the goal like that. So make it so it's clear when you say, I am successful, what that means to you so that you have a clear understanding of what success is. Then, once you have those pretty well defined, and you say, yeah, I already have that, Tracy. You've beat goals into me. Those are all very clear. I know exactly what it's going to look like when they're awesome. You know exactly what it's going to look like when they're completed. Awesome. Now, declare your intentions, right? Find your intentions and get out there and declare them. Have a crystal clear view, that Vista vision of where you want to go and what you're going to do when you get there, right? So many people are like, I want to go here. Okay, cool. What are you going to do when you get there? Well, I hadn't thought about that. No, you can't do that, man. As you're going there, you've got to know what you're going to do when you get there. Otherwise, you're going to waste time when you get there, right? And then beyond just what you're going to do, why you're going to be doing it, right? And where do you want to go say while you're doing it. It's all part of that Vista vision we've talked about before. And then I think inside of that is, what are all the things you're going to have to do, the people you're going to have to help, the other things you're going to have to accomplish in order to even get there, right? Set those intentions for your success journey. Make it part of your, I don't know, I'll be a little woo-hoo here a minute, part of your success consciousness, right? Visualize the next steps that you're going to have to accomplish in your plan to reach that goal so that you know what it looks like. You can feel it. And by doing all of this, you're beginning to set your intentions. You're beginning to declare your intentions. You're training your mind to totally focus on what is absolutely important to you. Now, I think the next one is kind of important. We have to remember, success, my friend, is a journey. Right? It's like, hey, we're going to go to Germany for vacation. Well, you just don't instantly get up one morning out of your bed and all of a sudden you're in Germany, right? There's a whole process for that. You got to buy the tickets. You got to pack your bags. You got to think through what you're packing in your bags so you don't have to buy a bunch of stuff while you're on the trip. You got to organize everybody together. You got to get them into the vehicle. You got to get to the airport. You got to wait for your plane. You got to get on the plane. You got to fly there. You got to get off the plane. You got to, get your bags back. You got to get onto the vehicle to get to your hotel. Now you can begin your vacation, right? Success is the very same thing. It's a journey. It comes in these different phases as you begin taking those actions. Phase 1 will come ahead, and then as these phases begin to come into reality, they impact just not the part of your life that it's in. So say you're focused on a business phase. Well, that's also impacting your personal life, right? As well as your business life. And it might be impacting your physical life and your spiritual life. So you have to treat them all together. And then I would also make sure that you're reviewing the plan, because as you hit milestones, be it starting a business or even starting a family, that can impact your view of success, right? Your perception of what success is before and after might change. So among these transitions, you need to work with what you got and work with where you now want to go. You're not writing these things in stone, right? It's your life. If you want to change it, well, damn well change it and start heading in the same direction, or I should say you keep heading in the same direction, or start off heading in the new direction that you now want to go. You're like, you know what? I don't need to do this business thing. I want to be a dad. I want to be a mom. Or, okay, I want to do them both. I want to do everything. I want to be an entrepreneur and a dad. I want to be an entrepreneur and a mom. Okay, you can do that, right? And many people have proven that. But, and here's the next one, you have to walk at your own pace. We've seen so many people that are, quote, overnight successes, unquote. And, all the overnight successes that I have spoken to, it's taken them a while to get there. Yeah, they're an overnight success 10 years later, right? They're an overnight success after grinding away, toiling away tirelessly for a couple years. And then all of a sudden the stars aligned and, they shot into the spotlight to become that quote unquote overnight success. Here's the thing. We all reach our goal, our success at our own pace. My pace could be slower than yours. You could take off like a rocket and get to the success you want in a very, very short period of time. Meanwhile, I'm still moving along at my own pace to reach my desired level of success. And neither one of those is the wrong path, right? Focus on your own growth. Focus on the process that you need to go through in order to reach the success you want. Your time will come. Just walk at your own pace. And if you want to run, that's fine. That's your pace. And then learn from the journey, right? If you're running so fast that you miss the beauty on either side of you as you're running, everything's a blur, are you really being a success? That's an answer only you can answer for yourself. The last two I want to leave you with is, Use your obstacles to your advantage. We're all going to trip. We're going to stumble. We're going to bumble. We're going to fall. We're going to face plant. Or while we're walking or running at our own pace, we're going to be met with a wall, right? And if we don't pay attention, we're going to smack dab right into that wall as part of that stumble, bumble, trip, fall, or face plant process. Now it's up to us to climb the wall, dig under the wall, bash through the wall, walk around the wall, whatever it might be. Pay someone to create a door in the wall, right? But the thing is, whichever path we choose to get on the other side of that wall, there's some lessons to be learned there. And I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned throughout my life is if you don't learn the lessons, life will put the lesson right back in front of you. So if you don't take the time to learn the lesson about that wall will reappear a little while later down the road. Sometimes I think so many folks are focused on whether or not their setbacks and challenges are going to hinder their growth, that they're missing the whole point that those setbacks and those challenges are a key part of their growth. And as you use them to grow, your achievements become so much easier. Heck, just getting through, around, over, under that wall is an achievement. And remember, it's your achievement. And the last truly powerful success habit I want to leave you with is reflection. And this can take so many forms. Some use meditation, and that's fine. Some use affirmations, visualizations, or journaling. I've used journaling for years, decades, if I'm honest. Quarter centuries, how about that? But whatever tool you use, it is very powerful to sit down periodically, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, or all of the above, and review where you at versus where you were, versus where you want to go. You know, heck, sitting down every morning for 10 minutes, just writing your thoughts out can be very powerful. That's how I started journaling. When I originally very first started journaling back in, gosh, this would have been the 90s now. The very first exercise I did was writing down my 10 goals. And then after that was repeating that process every single day for about 2 weeks. And I kept doing it for about a month. And what you'll find is some goals that you write will fall in and fall out. Sometimes things will shift around a little bit. But generally, after the first few iterations, you'll find your top 3 tend to remain your top 3 unless you experience some amazing event in your life, good, bad, or indifferent. Then it might shift a little bit. But then from there, I began writing other things. I began carrying my journal with me, and a thought would pop into my head, and I would write it down. I even went to the point where for one period of time, I created sections in my journal where this section is all about writing. This little section here in the back is going to be about new ideas. And then I left myself a section for just doodling. That was short-lived because then I put my doodling in with my journaling, and then my ideas also started to fall within my journaling. But whenever I came up with, oh gosh, I have to do this, I put it in a certain spot within the journal so I could find it really fast. But the point was, it became this place of reflection for me, so I could think about things. And here's the really cool thing about this particular version of being reflective is you can go back and reread it. So not only are you remembering where you were, but you can actually go back a year, a month, a day, a week, 2 years, a decade later, and really remember exactly what was going on inside your head without the cloud of time. Because sometimes time can allow us to remember all the bad or all the good, depending on your point of view. It allows you to go back and reread certain time frames going, yeah, I know what that felt like, right? And the feelings can bubble back up good, and so you can use this to your advantage. Anyway, sorry for babbling on like that, but taking the time to reflect via a meditation, via affirmations, via visualizations, or if you choose journaling, can be very powerful. It'll help you set your intentions for the day. You'll help set your mood, help alter it, help enhance your productivity. It helps you in turn get a lot of things done, a lot faster. And really, for me, I find it really helps solidify a more powerful, more productive mindset when it comes to reaching for the stars as you keep your feet on the ground, as Casey Kasem used to say. Using these success habits, we'll call them, can help you develop a really powerful success mindset, which can not only be beneficial to reaching the success you're looking for, but man, I imagine the benefits of mental health are probably amazing as well, right? And I think there's something to be said about your ability to be able to attract or manifest the very prosperity and success that you're working to bring in physically, right? You'll feel a little more at ease because you know, right? You're working towards your goals. You kind of have this inner peace about them. You're going at your pace. You're reaching for your goals. And when that first obstacle comes up, you know, you're going to find your way over it, under it, through it, around it. And most importantly, I think you'll feel successful inside yourself. Isn't that what we all want at the end of the day? Yeah. All right, enough babbling about that. Our next episode on Friday is going to be episode 247, Finding Motivation in the Murk. All righty, with that, I'm going to leave you as I always do. Think successfully and take action.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
And you know this!
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.